Unjene tonka ashila aya, wecho ueng suelo hai. Unjene tonka ashila aya, wecho ueng suelo hai. Ana weng suelo hai. Unjene tonka ashila aya, wecha ueng suelo hai. Aya, dako wakaya unspe makya pedo hai. Unjene tonka ashila aya, wecha ueng suelo hai.
Aloha! Welcome to Aloha Healers Network YouTube channel. This is Brenda Michiko Kelly, your host. Mahalo, Pathfinder, for our beautiful opening song. And this is our Feng Shui month report. And our Feng Shui month just turned on August 8th, and the center star went to number 8. So we have the number 8 in the monthly center right now. We also have a new animal and a new and the same element. It is a yang metal monkey month. And remember, the elements go in twos. They walk in pairs.
Say that again. The month.
The month right now is a yang metal monkey month. Yeah. And it is a number 8 in the center. And this is a new switch on the month. And the Feng Shui monthly switches hardly ever are on the first of the month. Usually they are on the 4th, 6th, or the 8th, and sometimes even as late as the 10th. And so this month, the new month is on the 8th, and so that's easy to remember because the 8 goes into the center. And I really like the Feng Shui when something like this so auspicious happens, when the 8 goes into the center. It's so happy for all the 12 animals, no matter who you are, because that vibration is in the center, touching everything. And remember, in Feng Shui, the number 8 is a wealth star. And wealth can be a lot of things, meaning wealth, meaning money, or wealth meaning knowledge, and wealth meaning happiness. Wealth is a lot of love, things like this, wealthy. And in Feng Shui, remember, there is a period of 24 years, and so this is a fun teaching because we are in a period of 8. And so this is a great thing to learn of which one of these 9 flying stars your animal is sitting on. And actually, there are no animals sitting in the center of the bagua, so there are only 8 stars to deal with around the animal wheel, okay? So find out which one is really going to vibrate your entire month with that overlay of wealth. And that's how to read what's going on. And also, there's a how-to check that I always do, and then there's always another one that I always do, which is the magical sum of 10. So just in looking at the overlay of the 8 in the center, and then remember we have a number 9 in the center for the year, and we've got in that configuration, I'm looking at the entire wheel. Don't see any Ho2. I see a magical sum of 10 in the northwest for the dogs and the pigs. Woof woof. and those types of things matter as well. And so I want you to get to know the compass direction that you're dealing with, because also in this configuration, in the 2 5s that I'm looking at right now are in the southwest, so we want to cure this, and the other 5 is in the north, and then we want to cure that. So, and that's a cure. And so there's all that wealth overlay, remember, in on top of that number 5, which is called the disaster star. And so we can really watch that closely, and remember, it requires a cure instead of something that we're going to activate. And so we can also, if we don't know what to do, keep those 2 sectors a little more quiet. And that's just a direct activation or not, as in TVs or radios or things like that are always vibrating is the activation, and flashing lights are activating things like, you can think of those types of things in those realms. And so the number 8 is in the center for the entire Feng Shui month, and then you're going to get another monthly report, and we're going to go around the wheel here really quick for the number 8 in the center. Here's what we have. In the north is the 4, northeast is the 2, east is the 6, southeast is the 7, south is the 3, southwest is the 5, west is the 1, northwest is the 9. And that's the wheel that for this month. And for those of you who've been listening, you know what those numbers mean. Worry not, we'll have a YouTube tutorial on what all those numbers mean, one by one, and there are 9. But we've got that number 8 down really well, because we know it means wealth, and we want to activate that. So remember, activation is blinking lights, fire. Remember to keep a good eye on that fire and make it safe. And noise in the center. And so, party down, right in the center. The party's right there. Activation. Also, remember, you could build your money bowls and put them in the center all month long to activate the center. And while you're activating the center with your money bowl that's there, remember, that's also activating that whole 24-year period where we've got this 8 in the center as well. So let's really get that wealth going on with the number 8 star for this month. And it's time for our Feng Shui Fit Tip. And for this month, let's go into our new moon beginnings. And even in the Farmer's Almanac, they use the moon for planting new things. It's really important to see where the moon is and how, if it's forward or void, and you can look those things up on when you begin things. However, there's a beginning time that we all can agree on from everywhere, and that's the new moon. And in this month of August 2018, the new moon is around the 10th, in the middle of the night, here in the USA. And so after that is a great time to begin new fitness things if you've been thinking about it. So go get your stuff now. You have a little bit of time. And if you could begin your new nutrition regime, or your new training program, and your new walking You can begin anything new right then and have a great time to grow success, just like the farmers do in their with their almanac. And it's time that we learn some more things about the moon, and we're going to learn from Pathfinder. Mahalo, Pathfinder.
Mahalo, Michiko. It's good to be back. We had a little hiatus there, and we're also switching from Blog Talk over to other platforms, including YouTube. You can continue to find these shows on our Aloha Healers Network community Facebook page, and you can also find it on Brenda's personal page and my personal page, Pathfinder 1111, and on Facebook it's Chanku Woksape. So we're continuing our talk on the 28 universal powers. We've gotten through 24 of them so far, and here we are to Hihan, the owl. And so we're here to honor the owl today as one of the 28 universal powers. And the owl is amongst the animal altars, and these are a reflection of the Sundance altars that many ceremonial people work with. Sometimes the ceremonial people will focus simply on one animal, like maybe it's a buffalo altar, or maybe it's a thunder and lightning altar. And also many others learn these 12, this example of 12 Sundance altars to practice, and then the 13th altar is the way of the hands, or the altar of the hands. But here we're just doing some basic introduction. And so we want to say hello to the Hiha Oyate, the owl nation. As with many of the ceremonial songs, they're actually too sacred and precious to put on broadcasts like that. It's to experience some of those things, you actually have to go, and there actually has to be a real ceremony and a real need. Many of the tribes across North America are very cautious about the owl nation. They see the owl as the one that warns that there's danger, among the ones that warns that there is danger. And specifically, the owl warns of the danger of death. And so the owl sits in between the light and the darkness. It's like there's this mysterious line between the light and the darkness. And one of the owl's eyes looks into the lighted worlds, and one of the owl's eyes looks into the dark worlds, or the telestial, the underneath things. And therefore the owl can see the interaction between light and dark, the interaction between life and death, the interaction between warmth and cold. Now, describing these in terms of maybe elemental opposites, yet it's very important for us to understand that there's always more than two answers, as our brother David Little Elk teaches. And I would encourage everybody to go over there and check out David Little Elk's new YouTube page. Specifically, he is a master of emotional clearing and clarity, and how to get beyond the dualism that often traps people in all sorts of emotional states and problems. And this includes the invasion into indigenous cultures of Christianity, whereas these indigenous cultures oftentimes, almost always, were beyond this duality, good, bad, right, wrong, all this sort of stuff. Christianity, as a consequence, brought that to them. And to tell you the truth, what they had before was better. That's my personal opinion as a medical anthropologist. Well, here we're talking about the owl nation. And it's true in the interactions that if you're out in nature and you come across, specifically you come across in person with an owl, it's time to reflect. First, it's time to pay attention to your surroundings, what's going on. Then, if everything's cool with where you are, then you take the warning into the mental. You take the warning into the emotional. You take the warning as a brief prophecy of, let me get my stuff together. Let me process and understand and get beyond what difficulty might be looming to take me out. Let me use my mind to reflect on what's been coming in the last few days. Is there some new situation? Maybe I need to be more aware and cautious of that new situation because of the warning of the owl. Also, what often ends up taking us out, where we have to leave our body behind, has to do with emotions and stress. Okay, they would call this dying of natural causes, though it's actually dying of too much emotional stress. Okay, and so when we lighten up on ourselves and when we take good inventories of ourselves, when we do our 12 steps, when we meditate, when we pray, we're all helping to heal our emotions. And then another big part is physical exercise. Physical exercise is a great way to balance and align the body, the heart, the mind, and the spirit. And so the owl, in those times when we have a direct, we run into the owl. There's the owl right there in front of us, looking at us even. That this is a time where we remember what's truly important in our life, and we make that rededication of our sacred purpose. Now, I've been present. I was camping in Missouri on Dream Tree and Dancing Crane, God bless him, land there in mid-Missouri, and I was amidst these pine trees. And the owls called a council. There were more than 18 owls there, maybe as many as 50 came in at a little bit more of a distance, and they all just talked. They talked for an hour, let's say. It was quite impressive. And so I've actually been present to a council of the owls. And let us remember that in our human history, the owl nation has stood up for us before. Like in the Lakota star knowledge about when the animals wanted to kill the humans because the humans were ravaging the earth and eating too many animals and just not being respectful in general, that it was the owl that reminded everybody that if they were going to kill the two-legged nation, that they would be killing the bear nation too. And we can't live without wisdom, which is what the bear brings us. Well, it happens that wisdom is also what the owl brings to us, particularly the wisdom of how to navigate karma. Because karma is what we're talking about when we say the owl came to warn me not to perish. It says that owl is talking about the wisdom of how to navigate strong karma, and then through these processes that we discussed a little bit, to shift the karma into a dharma. In other words, the difficulty and the lesson into grace and a blessing. And so this is one of the things, this is part of the wisdom of the owl, is to say, hey, it's like Saturn coming in and saying, hey, or Pluto coming in and saying, hey, you need to check out what's going on. Become aware. Become more present in the now. Evaluate what you're doing. Evaluate your values, your ethics. Evaluate your mood. And move forward in grace.
Mahalo, Pathfinder. And thanks to all of you for tuning in to our new Aloha Healers Network YouTube channel. And we're going to close with the 5 Reiki principles. Just for today, I let go of anger. Just for today, I let go of worry. Just for today, I'm thankful and give thanks for my many blessings. Just for today, I'm kind with honor and respect to all living beings. Just for today, I do my work honestly.
Tunkasheda de hapiku de chanu wedo hai newa akaya wawadera hanko pingte do ai daku teki kawanin chingte do de hampiku de chanu wedo Aloha!